Bantu people from Angola who were transported there during the slave trade. I'm not implying that other African ethnic groups like the Kushites and the Nilotes are not voluptuous. Yoruba and Kwa ladies from Nigeria and Ghana are indeed curvaceous. However, among many tribes in the Niger Congo cluster that are not Bantu, not so many are curvaceous. It is nearly a universal feature among the Bantu, which is why they are the focus of this video.
All right, hey, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachah HaKodash, giving double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone that have told me this truth, that are constantly ruling well through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Shalom to my beloved brethren that are out there pushing this word wholeheartedly in truth and sincerity, that are not wavering to the left nor to the right, but constantly staying on that straight and narrow, fighting for your crowns in these last days that we are truly living in. Shalom to the few sisters. Shalom also to the Israelite foreigners, those that have been scattered abroad throughout the four winds, that look like the other nations, but their seed line goes back into our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I'm entitled this lesson, Could the Bantu people be of Israelite descent? Okay, could the Bantu people be of Israelite descent? Okay, and me personally, through spirit, I believe that the descendants of the Bantu people could very well be of Israelite descent, primarily of the southern kingdom, which is Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, okay? And you had a period of time where, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi during the pagan Roman Empire that fled through different regions, which was Asia, Europe, and the interior parts of Africa, because of 70 AD, the besieging, the hell that Israel caught, which you could read this in the book of Matthew, the 24th chapter. Not the whole chapter speaks about 70 AD. And you can also read about 70 AD in Revelations, the 12th chapter, which also, again, not the whole chapter of Revelations 12 goes into 70 AD because it's broken up into different time periods, if you understand Revelations, the 12th chapter, okay? Which one point that I want to bring out of Revelations, the 12th chapter, which is just an example how our people would flee into those Hamitic regions because those Hamitic tribes, they have the same pigmentation as Jacob does, okay, which Ham is also a dark-skinned race, okay, which is easy for our people to blend in, because one thing that was told to Joseph and Mary during the time of Herod wanted to trying to upset prophecy, which is to pretty much put the Messiah to death, okay, when he was born. They were told to flee into Egypt, okay, to hide themselves, okay, until pretty much Herod was gone, all right. Which, matter of fact, let me get this quick scripture real fast in a book of Acts, okay, the 13th chapter, all right. Acts 13:1. It says, now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon, that was called Niger, and Lucius of Cyrene, and Mani, which had been brought up with Herod the Tetrarch and Saul, okay? Now, you have to look up the word Niger, okay, because a part of the Congos, it derives from the Niger Congos, all right, which, you know, the word Niger pretty much goes back into a Latin word, which means black, which really Israel is not a black people, okay, because we understand that the words originate from somewhere. Black means void of light, ugly, destitute, you know, pretty much wicked, all right, but we were called black because that was the hue of our skin tone, okay, because really we're from Adam, which Adam goes back into the Hebrew word Adama, which means ground. The ground has different shades of brown, okay? So we were looked at as dark-skinned people, okay? Now, as you know, it was said to Joseph and Mary to go hide themselves during the time of Herod the Great. We fled into those interior parts in order to camouflage ourselves, right? Because you know, we wanted to flee from the persecution. Now, let me get this as well, all right? Because there's the Lord had made a difference between the Egyptians and Israel, Exodus 11:7. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how that the Lord doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. Okay, so the Egyptians would go back to this one of the sons of Ham that came out of the lineage of Ham. Okay, all right, but Ham is not the progenitor of the so-called Negroes today, especially the Negroes today in America, you know. Let me get this as well. Let me see. I know I had it somewhere. Okay. I'll do this right here. Bear with me for a second. Go to my bookmarks. Here we go. All right, so it says, this is straight out the Zondervan Bible Compact Dictionary. It says Ham is known as the father of the black races, but not the Hebrews, who are in fact Shemites, or were Shemitic people, or of the lineage of Shem, all right, because we come out of the loins of Shem. All right, you had Noah, you had his three sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. All right, so out of Shem, that's who we come out of. It says under Exodus 11:7, the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary says Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites, not the Negroes, Hamites selling Shemites into slavery during the slave trade, because if Ham is the father of the dark or black people, that makes him the father of all Africans and other black people, okay? So a lot of those so-called Africans actually are Jakes, you know, that actually took over those regions, and they rebuilt, you know, which this is before the Congolese genocide, the Congo Kingdom. You had a man by the name of Don Antonio Emmanuel Marchio de Winth, the ambassador to the King of the Congos, okay? And, you know, pretty much I believe his picture is up in the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York, you know, which clearly if you look at the screen, you can see that looks like a so-called black man right there, okay? Now it says before the Belgium colonization and the Congolese genocide in the 19th century, Congo was a large area with the second biggest rainforest in the world, which the first biggest rainforest is the Amazon rainforest. You know, I believe that's out in Brazil, which they call that pretty much the lung of the world. You know, it says its inhabitants had lived there for hundreds of years as they migrated from Nigeria in the 7th to 8th century CE. Most built their households around the forest. The governance was centralized and the country became known as the Congo Kingdom. Most of the inhabitants were fishers, traders and farmers, poets and artists were highly regarded, as well as the chiefs. The early Congo kingdom expanded territorially through alliances, marriages, and partnerships. Now, just to make a point about how Israel, if 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 Esau was to let Israel pretty much do their thing, Israel don't need these other nations because Israel could become self-sufficient pretty much from nothing. You know, we would build our own schools, our own presidency. We would build our own monetary system. We would build and be self-sufficient by ourselves. You know, if we were to go and do our own thing. You know what I'm saying? So when Jacob fled into these different coastlines, they became their own monarchs and set up their own traditions, set up their own establishments by themselves, you know, because that's just the nature of our people, okay? All right, that's just the nature of our people. Now, what destroyed our people was when Esau got into the Congos, you know, which that's what I really want to talk about is when Esau got into the Congos, because that genocide or that type of terror that the devil brought in, he brought in first, which was Christianity, you know, and everything always falls apart when Esau brings in his Christianity, you know. Every time Esau comes with his Christianity, you know, pretty much that destroys people, you know, and destroys the people, okay, because Esau's Christianity is a false religion, you know, but our people pretty much eat it up because by nature, we have let me get that real fast. We have a zeal, okay? Our people have a natural zeal, okay? Our people will praise God. You know, our people will even do particular things that concern the Bible, but they don't even realize that they doing what's concerning the laws that were actually given to them on Mount Sinai from Moses, you know, the law, statutes, and commandments. That was that covenant agreement between Israel and the Most High, you know. But let me get this real fast. A zeal. Let me see a zeal. And let me see knowledge. Our people have a zeal, but not according to knowledge. All right, this is Romans 10:2. It says, "For I bear them record that they have a zeal of God, but not according to knowledge." You see, so our people have a zeal of God. All right, and when Esau brings up their religious practices, okay, it pretty much our people eat up and it destroys them. All right, and that's one thing that Christianity has done to our people, has destroyed them. Okay, you know, look at the Christian church today. But nonetheless, let me keep reading into this article. It says the Portuguese explorers arrived in the Congo Kingdom in 1482. Portugal and the Congo Kingdom allied, and many Congolese royal families converted to Christianity after their alliance with the Portuguese. The Congolese waged war against other African tribes. They captured many fellow compatriots and traded them to their new allies as enslaved people. However, many Congolese were against this conversion, and civil conflicts arose. Even though the winner of these conflicts were the Christianized chiefs, the Congo Kingdom maintained its tradition and religious, along with newly arrived Christian values. So you have the paradox of this alliance is that the Portuguese, along with the British, the Dutch, the French, enslaved many freeborn Congolese people with or without the permission of the kingdom's chiefdom. Through Europeans' eyes, the Congolese were inferior like other African countries. The leaders used this threat as a means of subjugating their subordinates. All right, so what you had, now I'm gonna jump back up to the top of this article, because you had a major genocide, which was the Congolese genocide, that the overlooked history of the colonized Congo. Okay, and when you actually go into this history, okay, which it was one of the biggest mass murderers in history, all right, which 8 to 10 million murder victims, was that's according to Esau's number. But Esau was forcing Jake to actually get the rubber, you know. And if Jake didn't get that rubber, or they didn't come with the quantity that was needed, they would get their hands chopped off. So a lot of these Jakes that were out there slaving for Esau, they would have nubs for hands, okay, because Esau was chopping their hands off, you know. And I believe that, you know, um, it was more than just the rubber that Esau wanted. That Esau wanted inside of the Congos, you know, because as I was looking into it, it brought me back to this movie called Congo, which I haven't watched it since I was a young boy, you know. But before I play the movie, let me just read this. The disclaimer, the copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news, reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringed as nonprofit educational or personal use tips the balance in the favor of fair use, you know. So I believe that Esau, he was going into the Congos also for, they say in the movie, diamonds, but it could have been something even rarer than diamonds that can power things up, which it could have, the Congos, it could have had I believe the selenite stone, which I believe the selenite stone is one of those stones that actually um, empower the other stones, you know. But according to the movie, that was one of the precious resources that they went up in there, okay? They were dealing with the apes, the chimpanzees, all right, the monkeys and whatnot, okay? Now, what's interesting is that the first case that was so-called study of HIV actually traced back to so-called Belgian Congo, which me personally, I don't believe that it was an actual Jake that actually had the virus, unless Esau infected him, the virus inside of his blood. But it could have been one of those Edomites that were messing with them, with the animals, you know, because Esau gets down like that. You know, Job 30, you read Job the 30th chapter. I wouldn't even allow them to dwell with the flocks of my dogs, you know. And I'm gonna show you in that video when I play it. Okay, I'm going to show you exactly what I mean, but let me read this real fast. The researchers traced first HIV case to 1959 in the Belgian Congos. Now it says the HIV probably originated in the late 1940s or early 1950s and showed up in people 10 to 20 years earlier than has previously been estimated. Research said Tuesday, Dr. David Howe and colleague from the Enron Diamond Age Research Center in New York told a conference they traced the very first case HIV infection to a man living in what was then the Belgian Congo in 1959. So I'm not going to jump into the whole thing, but it goes into the Bantu people. You know, that's where it's saying that the first dude had the virus inside of his blood, okay? Which I believe it was, you know, Esau brought that into the world, all right? Because Esau gets down like that, you know? So now let me play this piece from this movie, all right, called Congo, which is actually a good movie. Came out in 1995, you know? Let's see. All right, which we're gonna get some scriptures about how Esau gonna have to also pay, you know, because that what a man shows that he should also reap. You know, we're gonna grab those scriptures in a second. Bear with me for a second. All right, so I'm trying to play this, but all these tabs keep popping up. Lord's will. All right, here we go. I'm gonna fast forward it to about the 12th minute in the movie, because they had a monkey or ape named Amy. Now let's see. Now it's acting. Yeah, I should have already. I should have already queued it up. Here we go. I'm gonna pause. All right, here we go.
This is the first time I have ever heard my own voice.
Lights, please. It's hard to get grants for what I do. Most people just don't really believe it. They think it's a parlor trick, a gag. But it's no gag, ladies and gentlemen. And with this new technology, I can demonstrate it in a way in which it has never been possible to demonstrate it before. Animals can talk. Amy, could you come down here, please? Hello, Amy. Thank you for the flowers.
Peter. Hello, Peter.
Amy, how old are you?
Amy, 7. Amy, good gorilla. Amy, pretty.
Yes, you are.
This is a talking gorilla, Moira. This gorilla is talking.
I know, Boyd.
But this is really happening. This isn't Mr. Ed.
No, it's not Mr. Ed.
Amy, look at me.
Amy, mother.
That's right. That's your baby.
Amy, wants lunch.
Okay.
What do you think, Mrs. Romy? Spooky.
That's right, Amy.
It's very spooky.
Amy's above average intelligence for a gorilla, certainly. But she's not a freak. What she has learned, other gorillas have learned and can learn. But that takes money, of course. Isn't that right, Amy? Amy, calm down. Easy. Hey. It's okay. It's okay. You're all right.
We've got her sedated. She's gonna be fine.
Not gonna be fine. Nightmares again. It's happened before. Gorillas in captivity degenerating mentally, having to be destroyed. She did these paintings, she got better. Why?
All right, I mean that's pretty much all I'm gonna show. You know, there's a clip before that, but Esau laying down. You know, Esau in the movie was laying down with the monkey, getting close to the monkey. You know, as if it.
Now, when it comes to Amy, you get a grant for anything except setting her free.
How about this? I taught her, now she can teach them.
Who?
As if it were it was an actual person, you know. But there was a specific, I can't remember the thumbnail. There's a specific part in this movie where when they finally make it into the Congos, they get to this hotel called Leopold, Hotel Leopold, which Leopold, here it is right here.
in better hands than you should be.
Umekwenda wapi? Tunasafari ndefu. Tapisha. Okay. Andalale. Endelea huko. Kuja. Okay. Andalale. Afande, iko na wazungu hapa. Nanyani. Wazungu? Toka. Shuka chini. Toka. Kuja. Kuja. Okay, sasa tu sasa salvapa. Allez, tous.
No one can go to Zaire. The border is shut. There's a revolt.
That's not my fault. Where's my gorilla?
The gorilla will be kept on the drum while we do what we
hospital?
So this one's decided to speak.
This is pure Kafka.
Who's Kafka? Tell me!
All right, right there. All right, Hotel Leopold. All right, which, you know, pretty much that goes into Leopold the third. All right, and he was one of the main spearheads for the Congolian genocide. You know, when you actually go into the history of the Congolian genocide. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I have it. I don't think I have it queued up. Let me see. For it. Matter of fact, right here it is. All right, I'm sorry, it was Leopold II. In the 19th century, Leopold II, the constitutional monarch of Belgium, tried to persuade the governance to colonize certain areas of Africa. However, his attempt didn't succeed in the 1880s. He decided to use the International African Association, a humanitarian organization created by him so that he could carry out his plans. King Leopold's intentions were anything but humanitarian. Congo back then was a country full of special resources that could offer him both big revenues and low costs. Under the pretext of humanitarian purpose, he managed to legally own the Congo Kingdom. It says the new name given to the colonized Congo Kingdom was Congo Free State. Leopold could not economically support his new property with Belgian public funds, so he kept it with the funds of his new land. The Congolians would pay Leopold, his backers, and the Belgian state for being their slaves. Building in Belgium, such as the Royal Museum of Central Africa, were thus pay labor of the Congolian people. But the worst was yet to come. The Congo Free State was not only a great source of human labor, it was one of the bloodiest European colonies in Africa, if not the bloodiest. You know, so you could pretty much, you know, look into how they pretty much forced Jake into this manual slavery. And as Jake was forced into this manual slavery, you know, they was treated harshly, treated very harshly, you know. Like I said, if they didn't meet their quota, they was getting their limbs chopped off. Okay. Let me see. Needless to say, the Congolian village were unable to produce the excessive amount of ivory and rubber they were pressured for. When production was even slightly lower than required, the men of force publicly would commit a series of heinous crimes against the locals. The saddest part of this was that the most of the men who committed the atrocities were Africans themselves, who sought the favor of the white superiors who represented the imperialist European burguese. They were kidnapped as children, raised to be the king's soldiers or unpaid African. The men of force publicly traditionally cut the lower limbs, the hands, the feet, or even the heads of the disobedient under the orders of the European officers. The mutilated parts of the victim's body sometimes would be eaten. Flogging the villagers and burned whole villages was also prevalent terrorist tactics. Many Congolese died from overworked and untreated disease like smallpox, sleeping sicknesses. You know, so, you know, the women were raped. You know, all type of atrocities happened. Which most likely, that's why I say it could be Israel. You know, So, nevertheless, let me jump into some of these scriptures, okay? Because, that's part of Esau's MO. You go into the book of Habakkuk. Let me get that real fast. The book of Habakkuk. So I didn't want to make this too long. But you go into the book of Habakkuk. Esau is known for putting people into debt. He's known for going to steal your resources, okay? And he heaps people unto himself, and he names different landmarks and places after himself, So let me get this in the book of Habakkuk, okay, chapter 2. Let's start at verse 4. This is Habakkuk 2 and verse 4. It says, "Behold, the soul which is lifted up is not upright in him," talking about the Edomites, "but the just shall live by his faith. Yet also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man." All right, part of his wine is a democracy in his religions that he forces the people to follow, okay? It says, who neither keep at home, who enlarges his desire as hell, and as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations, and heap up unto him all people. It says, "Shall not these take up a parable against him, and a time the proverb against him, and say, Woe unto him that increased that which is not his? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay." All right, because Esau is known for putting people into debt, okay, making them work for them, becoming employees, all right, in order to build up their society and their empire. And that's all Esau did that the same thing in the Congos, All right, but Esau is going to have to pay for the things that he hasn't paid for, okay? And this is why we're ultimately waiting on Yahushua to return to make this man personally pay up the tab which he has generated for himself. Let's go over here to Galatians chapter 6, verse 7. It says, "Be not deceived, the Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap." Okay, because Esau didn't show no compassion unto our people. Okay, when he could have presented mercy, there was no mercy. Okay, all right. So when the time comes for him to have to undergo the same treatment, there's not going to be any mercy for his people. Okay, this is James 2 and 13. It says, "For he shall have judgment without mercy that have showed no mercy, and mercy rejoiceth against judgment." All right, because Esau then did a number on our people. All right, he fed them with that democracy. He raped, robbed, murdered, pillaged. I mean, that's how America was gotten today. Okay, so the same ill treatment is going to be done to him. All right, what goes around comes around. Matter of fact, oldie but goodie, I'm going to just end it off with this one. All right, because Esau, it's come about time when Esau, he pays for everything that he has done. Revelation chapter 13 and 10. It says, "He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword." Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. Okay, there it is. All right. So if you kill with the sword, you must be killed with the sword. If you put into captivity, you got to go into captivity. All right. And here's the patience of the faith of the saints, meaning that we're waiting, all right, for the Lord to give us that power to exact that vengeance, okay, upon you devils, man. Because what you did to our people was very atrocious, was very evil, all right? So the Most High has not forgotten the things that you have done to his people, nor did Yahushua forgotten the things that you have done to his people. So when Yahushua comes, he's coming, all right, to utterly subdue you, okay, and bring you to the very bottom where you belong. So Lord, when you have been edified, giving all praise and glory to Yahweh Bashim Abishai. That's all I want to speak on. With that, until next time, I want to say Shalom.